What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about some audio that actually proves that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer is 100% happening. It's essentially a phone call between some lads and Activision support. Now, Activision support gives away the fact that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer is still happening and will be coming at a later date. Now, before we jump to conclusions, I did get this verified from the man himself, the Gaming Revolution, who will have his own video coming out very soon also talking about this. Now, the phone call is about 10 minutes long, but I'll break it down to some of the key moments, then we'll talk more about it after it plays. Before we jump into that though, I also wanted to remind you that memberships are available on my channel. There's actually 3 different membership options, and more information about them is down below when you hit the join button. YouTube is currently crashing financially because of the beer virus, so becoming a member will definitely help me out, and I know it's becoming harder and harder for other content creators as well to continue doing this full time. But the highest membership option will grant you access to free merch, exclusive intel, and an early look at some of my upcoming bangers for the next couple of weeks. But without further ado, let's roll the phone call.
I checked and it looks like we've not yet released the plans.
Oh, okay. And one last question. Will you guys be having multiplayer?
I believe so. We have it in Modern Warfare 1, right?
Yes, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Will you guys be releasing it in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, and will it have multiplayer?
Yes.
and I know you understand completely that multiplayer is needed. You understand?
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't listen to what people are saying online and just wait for the official release.
That's exactly what I've been trying to tell my friends, but they're a little anxious, and it's getting a little out of hand. So I really just wanted to call and make sure.
Yeah, I feel like your friends are jumping to conclusions. So.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, you have a fantastic day. Just please, just make sure for me and for yourself that there will be multiplayer. And if they tell you no, you might just have to, do what you have to do in there. Please, do not touch the intervention. Please, thank you, please.
Just leave it the same.
Gonna hopefully come out sometime this year, and just wait for the official announcement. And I think that then, you'll know. I wouldn't listen to what your friends are saying. Yankee is genius. There's nothing that I know of here. Other than that, it'll be released at some point. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to let you go.
No, wait.
I've answered your question.
Last question. Last one. That's it.
You have a great
Last one. Last question.
Now, one thing I thought of as I was editing this video is how exactly will they charge for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, right? Because we pay $20 for just the remastered campaign, and I highly doubt they'll just drop the multiplayer out of nowhere for free. Now, a couple of paywall options I was thinking of is through the PSN store or the Xbox Marketplace or through Battle.net. They'll charge an additional $15 to $20 to download multiplayer, and even the Spec Ops maybe too, right? Because Spec Ops could very easily be added in. So I would assume since we already downloaded most of the multiplayer, if not all of it, it'll just be locked behind a paywall of some sort to unlock it in the same application. And if not that, then we have the option I talked about in my previous video, which is that Activision is currently considering putting Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer into the new Modern Warfare. They're not just considering putting the maps into the new game, but maybe having a separate menu for it. So you'd be forced to buy the new Modern Warfare, the 2019 reboot, and then through there at the main menu, maybe next to Warzone, you'll see Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. So it seems like there are several different options for how exactly they could lock the remastered multiplayer behind the paywall. So let me know what you think of this phone call down below in the comments section. When I initially heard the phone call, I wasn't too convinced that it meant very much, but then upon further analyzing it, I realized it actually took place in 2018. Now you're probably wondering, well, how is that relevant to the current situation with Modern Warfare 2 Remastered? Well, the thing is, this phone call took place when the initial rumor dropped that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered would be campaign only. And since since Activision support reassured these gentlemen that multiplayer was still happening, it seems like all along multiplayer was on the table, but it seems like they meant to drop it in a different way. So I'm also going to leave a really interesting video down below in the comments about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer potentially having a beta. My good boy Sky Innan actually put together a very convincing video that shows some actual proof that a beta may be in the works for this experience. And in terms of when that could be happening, well, a lot of interesting leakers in the community have been suggesting that after this 30-day exclusivity is over for PS4's campaign, they'll actually end up dropping multiplayer for all platforms out there, which I think does make sense, and as I said before, could be an interesting surprise to the community. But what does that mean for Call of Duty 2020? Because if they're going to do all of that, on top of Season 3 dropping later this week, it seems like they have the opportunity now to push back any type of reveal or marketing for Treyarch's next Call of Duty. And could that be the reason why they're dropping all this right now, right, to distract us from the fact that we haven't got a COD 2020 reveal yet? Absolutely. I think we may end up getting a late reveal for Treyarch's next game, similar to how Modern Warfare's late reveal worked. I think that came out in, what, June or something? A very late reveal. And I think when it comes to COD 2020, everybody already believed that a delay was needed, because everybody wants Treyarch to work for 3 full years on this next game, and they already weren't able to do that because of unfortunate circumstances behind the scenes. And now with this beer virus, it makes even more sense to either delay the game or make some announcements, or I guess release it in a bare bones state and then update it with patches later on, but nobody really wants that. So it's a bit of a sticky situation right now with COD 2020, but maybe this is Activision's approach business wise to be like, all right, let's drop something in the meantime to boost some sales in the case they have to push back COD 2020. Now, a lot of Call of Duties have released in November, you know, mid-November, so to speak, so I think pushing back Treyarch's next game to mid-November, possibly even December, could be beneficial and would allow Treyarch a lot more time to make the game. Now, back to Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer though, in terms of my thoughts of a beta happening, when I first heard about that information, I was like, wait, is that really necessary though? Isn't it a bit redundant to have a beta for a remastered version of a previous multiplayer? And the truth is, maybe that would be the way that they would try to see how the community reacts to some changes to the weapon balancing and to one-man army maybe not being in the game. Maybe they'll essentially fix some of the fundamental problems that existed in the original Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and the beta would be a way that they can see, you know, how the community reacts to it and whether or not that's a smart change or not, and if they have to go back to the original Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer format. Maybe that's the point of the beta, you know, and it of course would also be on the Modern Warfare Remastered 2016 engine, so not the new reboot engine, which I think is still fine because I feel like COD 4 Remastered's engine was fairly smooth for PS4 and I had a great time playing that game. But when it comes to other proof about multiplayer happening as well, I once again will have Skype's video in the description and as a pinned comment. He also goes over the fact that you don't even need the full game installed to finish the campaign. He actually uninstalled it and reinstalled it just to prove that point in the video. So if you want to check that out, definitely click on that link. Now we also have a tweet from Activision community VIP Keith, who's proven to tease a lot of things in the past, that he'd rather have a split community that thrives and is happy than a huge community that is miserable because of one decision, just saying. And it goes back to what I said about 2016. They've already experimented with having a split community and it worked just fine. Having Modern Warfare 1 Remastered, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3 Year 2, it just gives every type of player something to thrive for. People that are a fan of advanced movement and a new multiplayer experience, boom, they have Infinite Warfare. People who are a fan of Black Ops 3 as a whole and we're still excited for new weapons, Zombies Chronicles, they had another year of Black Ops 3. And for those that wanted to go back to boots on the ground and enjoy good old Modern Warfare 1, they had COD 4 Remastered. So it worked just fine, could work just fine again, because think of it, right? You have the new Modern Warfare reboot, you don't have to be a fan of it, but maybe you like Warzone, you have that. Maybe you don't like either one, you could have Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, right? Faithfully on current gen hardware. And again, Keith has teased so many things before. My buddy Sky also goes in more detail with what else he's teased in the past over on his video, and I also brought him up in one of my previous videos too. It's kind of funny how Keith does work officially for Activision, but is still okay with teasing certain things here and there. So I guess it's great that it's not breaking any contract or any NDAs, and I love to see stuff like this over on Twitter. It just hypes up the community and further proves that Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer is on the table. At the end of of the month, when PC does get Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and multiplayer doesn't drop, if that's the case, PC players will be able to data mine and go ahead and see what the deal is with those assets. And I also said this too in my stream yesterday, that I don't even think Activision knows exactly what's going to happen here. I feel like they're just going day by day, seeing how the community responds to things, and then at some point they'll make a decision about whether or not releasing multiplayer on its own or just releasing those maps in the new Modern Warfare is financially beneficial for them. But I'll have plenty of coverage later this week for both multiplayer and Warzone. Hopefully Season 3 is a banger, and hopefully there is some good content to make for that. Now I'll leave you guys with this though. We have a tweet from the man himself, the Gaming Revolution, confirming that testing is still being done for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, and he specifically told Sky that weapon balancing is also on the table for some of that testing too, so that could further support the idea that not only could a beta be happening, but a separate release of the multiplayer could be coming sooner than we expected. And it also means that Activision may not be set in stone on just taking some of those fan favorite maps and just dropping them in the new Modern Warfare reboot. That's just way too many maps, would not please the community whatsoever, and I don't think anybody would accept that. Once they drop a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, it would give Activision a couple of months, if not longer, to kind of reevaluate what to do with COD 2020. People will be more than happy to spend a couple of months, if not even longer, just playing a classic multiplayer, what is considered the best multiplayer, remastered on current gen hardware. But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Once again, the full phone call is linked down below in the description and in the pinned comment, along with Skype's video talking about some evidence proving that a beta is indeed happening for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer. That is about it. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.